I've been coming to Cape Town now for a couple decades, and I love this town. I never tire of coming here. One of the cool places that I like to go to is an area called Woodstock. Woodstock is a little bit on the outskirts here of Cape Town, and here there's some companies I love. One of them is called Design Africa, and it's sort of funky because it's a woman's home with a big garage. This owner has African baskets from all over Africa, and they're all ethically sourced baskets, if you will. They come from Burundi, they come from Tanzania, they come from South Africa, they come from Zululand. And some of the quality of the basketry is incredible. And I always tell people, if you want to dress up your Balance Catamaran, this is a great place to go. Another place that's really cool is a ceramic shop called ISMISO. ISMISO is also in the Woodstock area, and there's a couple of ceramicists that I absolutely love. One of them is named Poswa, and she was a ceramicist that my wife discovered here about 10 years ago. Now she's so famous globally that she's showing next week at a big gallery in New York City. There's a lot of beautiful clothing that you can also find that's handmade in South Africa in Woodstock. It's also where a lot of the art galleries are. So that's a really fun place to go. Right here in the Victoria and Alfred Waterfront, where our boats are, is an amazing place. There's just amazing places to go. Talk about a couple of my favorite spots. One of them is called the Southern Guild. The Southern Guild is right across from the Radisson Red Hotel in the Waterfront, and they showcase the finest South African artists who do furniture, paintings, art, very high level. It's gallery level quality and a fantastic place. And right next to the Southern Guild, of all things, is this amazing zeitzmocaa Museum of Modern Art in South Africa. It's an old converted silo that they built a luxury hotel on top of, and inside the inners of this silo is their Museum of Modern Art. There's great shows. The museum store has amazing South African products, which is fantastic. So then from there, you walk across the little footbridge in the harbor, and then you enter the whole Victoria and Alfred Waterfront. One of the great places to visit, a massive building that has vendors of everything you can imagine. Baskets, towels, blankets, shoes, purses, beads, jewelry, all kinds of South African arts and crafts. They've got some really unique things. There's one guy that makes what they call township guitars, which are, they take old bottle cans or old metal Coke bottle cans and whatever, and they put them together into a little square and create like these cool little township guitars. There's also in the Water Cube the consortium of wood carvers, and there are beautiful carved wood objects that they do that look fantastic on these Balance Catamarans. There's no way, if you walk around the Victoria and Alfred Waterfront and go to some of these places, that you can't decor your Balance Catamaran just absolutely beautifully. In the waterfront itself, you'll find many different design stores where you can find pillows and things like that. Another really cool place is the new food court. In this food court, they have food from like crazy African food, Mozambican food, Tanzanian food. It's just this big section of boutique restaurants and vendors that you can have a great meal at. Also, you can get some really good drinks, I have to say. In the mall itself, in Victoria and Alfred Mall, there is, in the strangest of all places, one of the best sushi restaurants in the whole wide world. Yes, it's called Willoughby's. Willoughby's Sushi. I was there last night. They have a Rainbow Nation roll, which is my absolute favorite. It's like a rainbow roll in the United States, but it's got a South African twist. And they also have one called Rainbow Reloaded, which is absolutely great. So whenever I'm here, I love taking Balance clients over to Willoughby's to try that seafood. There's also a great restaurant here called Mozambique, which makes Mozambican food, which apparently is Portuguese, right? There was a lot of Portuguese culture brought into Mozambique. The other really cool thing about here at the waterfront, there will be street dancers performing African dances, which are colorful and amazing. It's just a super vibrant thing. I love watching, the dancers. It is just a lot of fun to just be hanging out here I typically stay at one of the waterfront hotels because it's just in walking distance down here to where our boats are. Typically, there will be 3 to 4 Balance cats just hanging out here in the waterfront. Interestingly enough, sandwiched between 2 of the finest 5-star hotels in the world, the one and only on one side of us and the Cape Grace Hotel on the other. Of course, Balance belongs in the company of 5-star hotels. South Africa, you're going to love coming to Cape Town. All of our Balance 526 owners stop here on their way through. So the Cape Town experience is something everybody gets. And of course, if you have the time, and if you don't make the time, you really should be scolded. You must take a Cape Point tour over Chapman's Peak. You want to see the little penguins in Simonstown. You want to go to the Cape Winelands, which are the most beautiful winelands in the world. There are so many cool things to do. And if you're kind of an adventurous person, right here on eyesight of me, you can see the Table Mountain, and you can climb all the way up to the top of Table Mountain. And if you're lazy, you can take the tramway to the top of Table Mountain. Something else I really recommend you do is they have walking tours of downtown Cape Town, and the guides will give you the entire history of Cape Town and South Africa. You learn about the history, you learn about the many different cultures, the languages. You just can't have enough fun here, really. It's just a great place to be. So, you come here, you're going to love to meet our people, you're going to love to be here in South Africa, and plan to stay as long as possible. And if you've got the time, you've got to do a safari. You got to go to you got to go up to Kruger National Park and see the Big Five. That's just it. Have a great time. Stay in balance.